I like to share about the DNA of our church. DCFC has been a very loving and caring church. And throughout the 31 years I've been here, I've seen that through year after year after year. So I love DCFC. This is a great church. God's faithfulness has been with this church. Faithful through the good times, through the very, very difficult times of our history.
I have been at DCFC pretty much my whole life. Actually, my mom was baptized with me in her womb, so that's kind of how long I've been at DCFC. So I grew up here at DCFC. I was in the children's ministry, youth ministry, even here when I was in college. DCFC has been my home church really my whole life. And I'm kind of just seeing how God has been very gracious, not only to me in growing up here, but also here at DCFC, just seeing how we've grown, not only in numbers, but just I think in depth and seeing how we've grown to know and love the Lord, that we want not only Him to be very present in our lives and wanting to teach our kids and the next generations from in youth ministry, also in children's ministry, but also like within our adult ministry, wanting to see everyone to know God more and through knowing Him, seeing how much He loves us and us wanting to share that love with the people around us.
Growing up and being involved with the youth group and just getting to know all the pastors, Pastor Gilbert, our youth pastor really influenced me, especially when I was going through some growing pains, some issues when I was in high school. But I think it was through DCFC and just the people and the pastors that really enabled me to really understand the gospel, who I was, how God viewed me, and to where I am now, where I'm serving, I'm able to invest in the youth and the college students like how I was invested in.
When we think through all these, we really find abundance of grace lavished on us. So we really rejoice when we're looking back. However, we also need to looking forward. So for the next generation, I think there's a few things we need to do to move this church forward as a healthy church, so it can continue to be the light and the salt in our area, also be engaged in the Great Commission. So I would say, number one, we had to breach the generation gap by developing and also integrating the next generation leadership into the current one. Number two, we also need to continue to make disciples of good stewards, be faithful and also be able to use their spiritual gifts to serve and to love. And the last one I can think of is really engaging the Great Commission with a strategic focus on the unreached people group, locally and also globally. So by God's grace, which you already experienced so much, we need to be able to continue to press on and share the gospel to the ends of the earth. Meanwhile, we should live out the true gospel of Jesus Christ and for the praise and the glory of our God.
I think one of the coolest things about being in a Chinese heritage church, being in the English congregation, and being able to help navigate brothers and sisters in their walk with God in the English congregation understand the value of their Asian heritage and allowing the gospel to intersect with that, and been able to see so many students and some young adults kind of have a renewed vision that their life is more than just a paycheck and making money, to seeing what God might be doing here in the Chinese church and also going globally. When I think of the next decade, when I think of what God might be up to, again, I see God having purified our church throughout this time of COVID, of our members thinking more critically about what does it mean to be a part of the church and what it means to love their church. And we've been focusing on this idea of growing deeper, leading forward, and now going wider. I just want to see what God might be doing all across the world. Mission trips and mobilizing teams, training leaders. Again, my churches are not healthy because they have lots of people, that their seating capacity is really large, but by their sending capacity of training disciples and equipping missionaries and equipping those, again, to take the gospel of Jesus Christ through biblical teaching and authentic modeling for the witnessing of his gospel here and beyond. And I look forward to seeing what the Lord might do with that in the next 10 years. So praise God for DCFC.